What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of An Honest Conversation about hip-hop. I am yours truly, D. Moraney, a.k.a. Hip-Hop's Uncle Phil, a.k.a. Hip-Hop Old Head. And you know the drill by now. As always, every single week I have with me the one and only.
It's your boy, Son Capone, the greatest rapper never known. We in the building, man.
How we doing on this Friday night, man?
We chilling, man. It's hot than a motherfucker.
It is, man. Cali, that heat is back. Summer's like officially here.
Hey, the sun ain't fucking playing.
I feel we're like 2 months behind on summer.
I feel like I fucked the son's baby mama or something, man. This motherfucker's coming to meet me at work or some
The
shit.
sun is mad at you.
Try to whoop my ass, you know? Like, man.
That's real talk. And to the left of me, we have the one and only
Big Pooh, a.k.a. The Stroke.
The Stroke, that's right.
Yes.
So, been a long week. A lot going on in hip-hop, and of course, that's what we go ahead and we do. A lot of times, we come off as hating on the young heads, you know what I mean? Which is never, ever the case, but, you know, a lot of people like to depict that. So, before we start the show, we're actually going to start off with some old heads, but before we do, let me shout out Big Bad Radio out in Philly. Go ahead and check us out every Monday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. BigBadRadio.com. Go ahead and check them out. Now, we talking about summer, hot records are usually released in the summer. So this summer season, I guess we'll call it, we've gotten records from Joell Ortiz and Tony Yayo. Usually, Joell is very one of my favorite rappers, and his songs are usually very strong. Tony has been a part of some real strong projects. So I'm going to start with you, Sam. You've heard both these records. One of them is called Shake It. The other one is called Kitty Bill or Bill Kitty or some shit to that effect from Tony Yayo. And then let's not forget to shout out DJ Woo Kid because he's a part of this as well. So, old heads with these summer-esque albums, or not albums but records, did they work out in your opinion, Son?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the effects of it, but musically, it's not reaching their potential. It's a far reach for what they're trying to obtain in success commercially. You know, and neither one is, you know, really in tune with the commercial market. You know what I mean? So I think that they're really trying. I ain't mad at them, man. You got to pay bills and things of that nature. But man, they're so. I mean, these cats, you know, man, been in the game 15, 20 years minimum, and they've probably been doing it a lot longer. They need to, you know, stick with what they know. I think they're above this, you know, and I don't know if it was their personal decision or somebody is, you know, having them, you know, or pressing them or putting it in it or battery in their back to go ahead and execute it. But no, I don't think it's a good look.
In your opinion, what were the two? Which of the tracks was more disappointing? Was it Jello, or was it Bill Kitty or Kitty Bill, whatever that shit is called?
Man, I mean, for me, honestly, they're both disappointing. I mean, with the Jello, it's terrible. You got the Beatnuts sample in there, so you get a classic like that, you gotta go hard. Especially Joell, he know the name of the game, so you definitely got to go hard and represent. But then with Tony Yayo, you know, I mean, that beat is hard. I like his beat better than Joell's, you know, but both of them are doing some shit that we've never heard before. So it's great to be creative and shit like that. I've always, you know, as an artist, try to push the you know, the creative standard and go out of my zone. But this shit is not going out of their zone musically. They're just fucking trying to capitalize and again, they trying to pay the light bill this summer.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Pooh, you heard both of them. What's your thoughts on Jello and Kitty Bill Kitty?
Well, with the Tony Yayo one, like Son said, the production is on point. And to be honest with you, I really don't have high expectations for Yayo. I don't think I've heard the nigga on the mic in, I don't know, 10 years or some shit. But he tried to use the auto-tune to seem relevant, but it still seems old and played out. So I ain't fucking with it, but I could tolerate the music. Now with Joell Ortiz, man, that shit is a disappointment. Like, because he's highly respected, and I respect him as an MC, and I'm hard on MCing, and it just seemed like a spoof. Like, if you was to play that shit without me seeing the visuals, I would think he's that fat bird on Rio.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? Just doing some shit like. I forgot his name, but
I know what you're talking
you know
about.
what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
come on, man. Like, that's some straight bullshit, Joell. Like, come on, man. But hey, like y'all said, I didn't think about the baby's gotta eat shit. But I always felt like, well, shit, he has a following. I know he has a following.
He has a following, yes.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have to do that, but you know what I mean? Times get tough.
Right, and especially you have the opportunity to work with Remy Salam or Salam Remy or whatnot. Joell has had other mainstream hits, at least the one where he's reminiscing on the girl that got away. People like that song. I like that song. And then you would expect more from Joell because Joell has been around people who know how to write songs. Royce of 5'9" just released an album last year that had some songs on there. What was the one? Cocaine. Sing-songy type track. You know what I mean? But he did what he needed to do on that one. On this one, you say the bird from Rio. I'm saying he sounds like he owned a bodega somewhere in Spanish Harlem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not fly. And if you're going to be on a girl track, you're talking about booties jiggling.
You know what
it
it
fly.
reminds me? Now y'all got me thinking this shit. Remember the Buster Poindexter track back in the, like, when the fuck was it? The late 80s, early 90s. We like it hot, hot, hot. It was like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm so on fire.
yeah.
We lit hot, hot.
That's
The crazy
exactly
shit
the
is
shit
now
is-
that
yeah.
song is in all these fucking kid movies. You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother shit. We've talked about off air about how they did Tone Loc to Wild Thing, and Wild Thing was one of the, at the time was a risque song. Now they're using kids movies when they're describing kids who are acting crazy or monkeys are running around doing shit. And then the shit that killed me, I think you took your daughter to see this. You saw Life of Pets 2, right?
Yeah.
All right. Where the hood at? DMX? In Life of Kids 2, like grandma pulls up with the little homeless animals and that's the shit they bumping with glasses on.
They who riding too, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
they pulling up on them? Yeah, see, that is just crazy. And I understand rappers, babies got to eat and they need looks and they sign off from that. But that's like the integrity of one of the things that bothers me with rap is we have no integrity. We sell out so quickly. You look at some of these rock bands, they're not gonna let their songs be used that way. You know what I mean? They'll be like, hell no, or they're gonna hold out for some big money.
But revenues, I mean, other than music or, you know, a hell of a pre-draft camp, you know what I mean? Money is hard to come by,
Right,
man.
but see, the thing is, in music, we rap is the number one genre. Now has been for years.
Of course.
And the fact that we don't control the number one genre,
'Cause we
that
sold
we don't
it out,
have any
you know what I
ownership
mean?
of the number one genre, is very depressing to me. You know what I mean? To me, that I know we're way off topic, but that shit that kills me. But to get back to these two songs, I like the Jello, and I like it better than Tony Yayo. I don't like it, and I'm not playing that shit. You know, my wife ain't prancing in the room to Jello before we get freaky. You know, I'm not hitting with the bodega accent. You know, come on, move that Jello. But it was a caricature, as Pooh was saying, and I think Joell can do a lot better. Tony. Man, I understand, Tony, you hadn't had a look like Pooh said in a long time. So if Wu Kid, and probably that was a favor by Wu Kid doing that for Tony. Video looked like it was shot by Wu Kid in the Sirius satellite
Tony
offices.
was the only cat in town or some shit like that.
Well, I mean,
like,
they both G unit. So
Right.
In house.
Right. But speaking of cat, the niggas petting the cat in the video. Like, who got a cat at the, you know, I know it's a kitty Bill or whatever. But two L's for our old heads on that one.
Godfather or something, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean? You know.
I mean, out of pocket. Tony could maybe link up with one of these unknown or younger up and coming street dudes and do a street record and get on that way. You know what I mean? Have a little fire on that. You know what I mean? But to do what he's doing, and then Joell the same way, there's a lot of dudes that are really rapping right now, Joell. And you just did an album with Apollo Brown, I think, that was pretty dope. You know, you just had an EP a couple months back. Now you with this? I'm not with it.
I don't know, man. It's like it's a bad look for New York. New York hip hop was already stage 4 on its way out the door.
Critical.
These niggas just let the rigor mortis set in with this bullshit.
Well, in my opinion, the only thing that's stopping New York from dying is Griselda and the Nas showing that he can still show up anytime and any place and still being probably the dopest MC in the game.
You know what it is? It's New York City is dying, but them upstate niggas is keeping the state afloat.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean? When it comes to them boroughs, I don't know what the fuck they got going
But
on.
I mean, Cardi is capitalizing. You know what I mean?
We respect Cardi.
Yeah.
I'll come around on her.
Right.
But we talking like New York, like they used to have their own sound, like you knew what you would expect from them. Now they don't have no identity.
Right.
And it's all over the place.
You know, we respect the hustler in Cardi. Trash rapper. But I respect her hustle, and I respect the fact that she's having her story told for her. And hopefully she grows within the next couple of years and becomes a better rapper. I doubt that because she's too mainstream now. She's going to have to keep giving us, if you think about it, last 2 singles, Money and was it Stress or Flex or some shit? I think it's Stress.
I don't even know.
You've heard the songs. They sound identical. Money, stress. Same type of shit. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to... Cardi's already at that point where she's got to do Cardi B shit. Her fan base is not growing with her. And she's stuck at that getting money, ratchet, broken heart, fuck these other hoes. That's where she's at.
Yeah, she goes. If she veers to the left too far from that, she will start losing the fan base.
Losing her fan base. I like what the Griselda niggas are doing because all of them can rap. They all stay in their pocket. I wasn't. Let's talk about that real quick. Did you guys have a chance to hear the what's the dude who got shot in the face? Which one is that?
Conway.
The Conway and Eminem record.
You know what?
Yeah. I heard a little. I listened to it until him came on.
Right. So I was very disappointed with that because Conway got off. Yeah. And then M comes and brings us another verse about how he dissing this person and dissing that, how people dissed him and this and that. And it just completely throws the record off. You know what I mean? It's like M had an opportunity to really give Conway a dope hip hop record.
But we all know this. M don't make good songs. You know what I mean? Like M do what M do, and that's
right,
what
but
his
if you
fans
just need a 16, a 32 of you just giving us real bars, of you just rapping, I believe
that's all he do.
I believe he didn't do that on this track. He's talking again.
But no, he's just rapping. Again, he's just rapping. You know what I mean?
I'm tired of M dissing cats who are below him. Like, we know you mopped up Ja Rule. I almost made truce with Ja Rule in '92 playing pool, but I knew it wasn't the thing to do. Like, nobody cares, but we know that you ended careers. I want to hear you get back to really rhyming against people who can really rhyme. You know what I mean? Like, don't give me this little corny M's here to destroy everybody who's whacker than him, because that's too easy. That's too easy. Nobody wants to see Hulk Hogan wrestle a jobber. We want to see him wrestle the best wrestlers. You know what I mean? It's the same shit in hip hop. We want to see you go against the best competition. And when you get on when we get on somebody's record,
but do you really want to see M battle with anybody?
I do, because he needs to hold his legacy up.
Like,
in my opinion,
who would you want to see M battle with?
I want to see M on a record with Black Thought. I want to see M on a record with.
So collabing or.
It doesn't have to be collab. Let's just get them on a record together. Let's get them on a record where it's just a whatever hook and cats are just spitting. You know what I mean? Like, if Black Thought can jump on a Freddie Gibbs album or Benny the Butcher album, you know, there's these opportunities that are out there. And you're Eminem. I'm pretty sure if you make a phone call and say, "Yo, can I get a Black Thought verse?" Black Thought's probably gonna be like, "Let's run it. Let's do it." Can I get J. Cole on a record? Let's do it. Can I get Nas on a record? Let's do it. You know what I mean? You have that clout. You have that stance in the game to go ahead and do that.
He can do that for the game, but see, M that's a sensitive issue right there, because is hip hop heads, we gonna respect it, but that's about, you know, probably 15% of his fan base is true hip hop heads. The other 85%, he might lose that fan base. I know he lost them, but shit, he's gonna lose more if he start bringing talent around him. You know what I mean? And if he goes straight hip hop, he gonna, them TRL fans is gonna, they're gonna fucking not even pay attention to that shit.
I don't think TRL fucks with him anymore. I'm gonna tell you why. Remember when he dropped that shit with Beyonce? How quickly did that get the fuck out of here? Walk on Water or whatever.
But those are the motherfuckers, you know what I mean, still supporting him, and you know.
But that's what I'm saying. That wasn't number one. That didn't chart. So people with those tracks, I think, aren't fucking with him anymore. He's more. I think, in my opinion, he's better going back to the rapidy rap fans who still look up to him and still want to hold him down, because these old mainstream kids, they're not fucking with him.
I don't think it's hip hop heads that fuck with him though, man.
In my opinion, it's kind of like he hit the scene in what, 98, 99? 99, I think.
Yeah.
Mainstream, 99. So we talking 20 years. His whole fan base back then was mainly, like you said, TRL, the teenagers. Them teenagers now are dead or fucking in their 30s.
Yeah.
So these
clonopins and shit.
he was without the buffoon. Well, I can't even say that, but without the gang bang quote unquote shit, he was 6'9" as far as fame back in them days, where the youth followed his ass. Like
Right.
He doesn't have that market, that demographic anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I say it all the time with age. Eminem is pushing what, 50 now.
He's close.
You know what I mean? So I don't even know who his fan base is unless it's just hardcore Eminem fans from 20 years ago.
And that's what I'm
saying. That's what I'm saying. That they're the ones that's grasping on or still holding on.
And they're all mothers and fathers of children now. I mean, like teenage kids. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't even hear his name no more. Like the only time I hear Eminem's name brought up is in some type of cipher type shit, or he kicks a verse. But as far as like somebody like waiting on the project,
yeah, in casual conversation,
he's like Puffy now. Like niggas ain't really checking for Eminem no more.
Yeah, that's a good segue. Let's talk about this Puff shit real quick, because this is. I don't even want to blame. I think Puff gets no blame in this other than just being a dummy. So if you haven't heard, Puff is dating the stepdaughter of Steve Harvey. She's about what, 26?
22.
22. Damn, I thought she was 20. 22 years old. The catch is, this was Justin Combs, Puff's kid's girl before. He was head over heels for falling around like a little lost puppy at the Super Bowl party this past year. Fast forward a couple months, Puff stepping out with this 22-year-old girl. Of course, the internet is like, that's foul. How could you do that? How could you snatch your son's girl or whatnot? So I'm going to start with you, Pooh. Thoughts on this whole craziness?
So Justin is the little light-skinned curly haired nigga, right?
That's a UCLA kid.
The one that played football.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of this shit, you know what it reminds me of? That's Nino and G Money. He fucked his bitch. Like, nigga, you know, he took his own son's bitch.
Take that.
But it's so many women. Puff can walk in the room and take his pick. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you even do that unless that's just some shit they do? You know, you never know behind closed doors. Maybe they change girls all the time. They flip women and shit, and Puff caught feelings for this one for whatever reason. Hey, you never know, because I just don't see a father doing that to his son. And then Puff is a mogul. Even though you may not like the nigga, he's a mogul, and he makes thought out moves. Like, he don't just do shit and put relationships in the media, because I'm pretty sure he didn't fuck with all types of women and niggas.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea. Y'all caught that part. You know what I'm saying? So he don't just put that shit in the media. The only person you seen was fucking Cassie all these years, and you know who his baby mamas is. But as far as just random jump off chicks, you don't see Puffy giving no woman no shine like that.
No limelight like that.
None of them. None of them at all. So I don't know. There's definitely something behind this one, because why would he do it? I just don't understand it. And then when you look at her, I mean, she's not a bad looking girl, but she's not a damn near billionaires like type. You know what I mean?
And she's normally not the females that you see Puff associate with.
Yeah, Puff fucks with if he fucking with, well, I've only seen him fuck with sisters, quote unquote, but they normally have like European features, builds, you know, the long weave, that type of look. Like, she just look like a regular sister, and I haven't seen Puffy with a chick like that on his arm since maybe the New Jack Swing type of Puffy back in the early 90s. So I really don't know. I mean, I can't really call it, but I just think it's foul.
Nah, I agree with you. Simon, what do you think, man?
I mean, he should know better. You know, that's just doing too much as far as doing that to his son. Like, man, that's some cold shit, man. How lonely you gotta be to go get the doggy bag from your son and shit. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
Right. And again,
I know motherfuckers that can get pussy up with a Big Mac and $10 in their pocket. You know what I mean?
Who want a burger?
Straight up.
Right.
And that shit don't have onions, and bitches will gobble it up. You know, shit. But he's doing too much. I don't know what the motive is behind. I don't think there's a motive. I just think.
Well, see, I think there's a motive, and again, I don't think this has anything to do with Puffy and Justin. I think this has to do on her. Because I think her mother, and I misquoted this. You corrected me on this, Pooh. She's Lady Heroin, right? Has associated herself or been with some very notorious drug dealers. So she has a little hustler in her system. These are her daughters.
So she probably seduced his
who
old
probably
ass.
seen the game. And right, there's a lot of women, and we were talking about this, whether you're rich, you're poor, whatever. So let me not just paraphrase and say women. There's a lot of people out there who are always looking for that next opportunity. They're looking for the come up. And if I'm in a room, the biggest come up is always going to be Puffy. And if she can play her position, maybe
Fuck
she
that
was
trust
real
fund.
nice.
You gotta die before they touch it.
Maybe she's real nice to Puff. Puff is going through a lot with the passing of his woman. His love, as he said, Kim Porter. Rest in peace to her. So I would imagine he might be a little vulnerable, and maybe she got a little bit of lady heroin game, and she's able to go ahead and snatch her that mogul. You know what I mean? Maybe it's maybe it's not a forever thing, but like people say, maybe they have a season together. What's a season with Puff worth?
And normally, people of his stature, like for instance, this day and age, these motherfucking superstars, they won't even give somebody a repost or mention their name in a post, which would give them all type of, clout or whatever you want to call that shit. So to actually step on the scene with the woman, you know how big her profile is now. The fucking camera's gonna follow her and all that. It's like, why would you just do that to a random? I really don't get it.
Right. I
She seduced his old ass. She put his Justin little ass out. She chumped his ass out, as we call it, Pooh. She chumped his ass out at 9:15, and she was winking the coochie at 9:30 in the kitchen. And Puff was getting his Fiji water, whatever the fuck he be sipping on and shit. And she put it on him, man. And I think there's some scandalous shit went down. And man, what do you think that conversation was like between him and Justin?
Probably, this is what happened.
But I'm a keeper. That must have been an
how
uncomfortable.
How Justin's a grown man, right?
But
Last time I checked,
he's still his son. You know what I mean? Like, how you explain that to your kid?
What I'm saying.
I knocked you.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Everybody in that situation is compromised because Justin depends, I'm sure, on his father. I don't know what Justin's doing outside of his father and how he's getting his money, but I'm pretty sure he's dependent of Puff. So Puff can probably knock all of his women that he wants to, and not saying it's right,
that shit ain't
but
cool.
I'm saying he can do that because of the position that these people are in.
Puff is gonna be the reverse of Marvin Gaye. It's gonna be his son that pop a cap in his ass.
You think Justin's gonna pop him?
He keep doing that shit. Like, man, you keep snatching his bitches. Like, man, come on now, man. That shit ain't cool.
This is the first that we know of. If there's a history of that, but Puff also didn't he hit a UCLA coach with a weight?
And he hit I forgot that shit called. He hit like a strength and conditioning coach with like a kettlebell or something.
He hitting coaches, bitches, and shit. Hey. Puff is just hitting shit.
So obviously Justin's not fighting his own battles. So Puff done took a kettlebell to somebody's dome. Then I might smash one of your girls in my home. You know what I mean? If I'm the one that's riding for you, I'm paying your bills, I'm protecting you out the street. What's yours is mine.
So I got a question, D. What if Pops pulled that shit on you at 22?
First of all, that never ever would have happened.
No, I'm just saying. No. It went down. This is a hypothetical.
At 22. Now, if I didn't care, okay, I would still look at Pops as foul, but I really wouldn't care. I'd be more.
You wouldn't be bothered whatsoever.
I wouldn't, because to go on. Honest conversation about hip hop. We're gonna have an honest conversation about life. I've tried to slide some of my jump offs to other people once I got tired of them. That was young me, whatever. You know what I mean? So it all depends. If it was somebody maybe I had a little feelings for, I think, I'm gonna look at them a little different. And we've gotten to tussling matches and altercations over less. So depending on how I was feeling, especially a young, angry Diami Marini.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, maybe. But depending, it probably been more of a relief. Like, oh, you did this with my daddy, I'm done with you. Knowing that I'm not going to see her tomorrow making Uncle Ben's rice in the crib, you know what I mean?
But what if Pops is settling down with her and you realize you were Pops' Eskimo brothers over there?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't.
Thanksgiving dinner table and shit. He done fell in love.
I wouldn't have been able to maintain that, and I would have definitely been able to. I'd have had to move out and do my own thing a lot sooner. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been able to go down with that. Just for the simple fact that, if you ain't good enough for me, then, you're good enough for my daddy. Nah, I don't know about that. I'd have felt bad from my pops.
And that's why I kind of look at it from the other angle, because my pops kind of different. he's the type of pop where, you know what I mean, he wanted to get like a prostitute that like me and my brothers being like 15 and 16 and all of us fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had that kind of pop. So I'm saying like and I never understood why he said that, but then as I got older, I understood it now.
Hey, but I knew Pops at 15 to 16. You tell him he still owe us on that. Tell Pops, hey, next time you see Pops, you tell him I said he bullshitting.
You know what? Hey, to get off the puffy subject, to get on that.
Yeah, let's get on some real shit. Let's talk about
I'm going to tell you, like, I thought about it later, and it makes sense to me. And I know this is not wouldn't be the popular way of thinking, but just think about it. Say you got sons, and let's just say you got you don't even know how your sons are going to develop to be who they are. But one of the biggest fears as a young man, if you ain't fast, is you scared of your first piece of ass. Your first time, yeah. But once you do it, it's like, oh, this is what it's like. Yeah, that fear is forever gone. It's like, I can understand it. You know, with him, like, I just happen to have a pops who was fucking 36 when I was a senior in high school. So he was more young. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes sense. I understand what the fuck he was talking about. But like I said, Puff is a mogul. Like, I mean, you mean to tell me what he got 3 fucking young sons that's, you know, teenage up to about 23, 24. He ain't never had like a brothel of bitches at the house for them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would imagine that probably has happened because, you know, my pops, you know, tried to get me some booty over at one of the strip clubs in fucking Anaheim, like when I was like 16,
I hate
17.
my father, man.
I was like 16, 17, and his mindset was, even though he didn't know I had already lost my virginity, his mindset was, don't make your first time special. Yeah. Because a lot of people, their first times with their girlfriend of a year, 2 years, you know what I mean? And then there's something emotionally that's attached to that. You know what I mean? Where the majority of us are either playing hide and go get it, or somebody had an older sister who was a little freaky, you know what I mean? That was my situation, you know what I mean? Other people have, you know, I don't condone this, but nasty ass aunties, and I've heard other wild ass shits where they lose their virginity. But a lot of times your first time is either very traumatic, or it's this fairy tale romance shit, which ends up being traumatic because your first time, I don't care what anybody says, nobody's a master. No one's know how to extend their back properly in their first time or whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody's in there pumping like, you know, they smashing the track and field buttons, AB, 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 AB. You know what I mean? They just trying to go ahead and get it in. You know what I mean? So I understand that mindset. I would imagine that Puff probably has, maybe not at a young age as we're talking, but maybe 18, maybe 21 is doing some wild stuff for his sons. And I can understand fathers who want their kids or their sons to lose their virginity without any of that other little bullshit sprinkled on top of that. But my thing is, you both touched on he can step in the room and have any female. You know, why not a Sanaa Lathan? You know, why not a Nia Long? Why not, you know, I know she's a little older, but, you know, it'd be a boss move for Puff. Imagine if Puff pulled Sade. It was out with Sade. Imagine that. You know what I mean? But you out here with Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. You know what I mean? Any of these women that I mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of older, fine sisters out there. I mean, and there's a lot of older, attractive, you know, non-sisters. Latinas, Asians, or whatever, you know. Caucasian women, if that is your thing. You know, there's a lot of nothing that Puff could snatch and have right next to his arm and would be a much better look. And probably, ultimately, are probably much better in the bed because they're more skilled and more understanding of what they need to do to please their man. So I do not understand this. It has to go back to Puff just liking young women. I mean, and that's his track record.
In my theory, and this is my theory alone, no one else's, or he used these young broads as beards, because this nigga might like men. You know what I mean? Like, so instead of thinking of a Sanaa Lathan or some shit like that, this nigga might want fucking Anderson .Paak.
Oh, shit. You know what? And, you know, again, that is something that has been said. You know, that whole Farnsworth Bentley situation, very peculiar. And depending on who you speak to and talk to, there's a lot of stories out there.
Who said that they caught him and Mace in the hotel room and it was a dildo on the, was it Cameron?
It was Cam. Cam had said that. Yeah, put that out, I think, on one of the diss tracks or whatever. He was talking about it on the record or whatever. So The music industry is a very dark place. We know this. And stories, often that are stories or not stories, are very true. So if Puff is a beard, he's a beard. At this point, if he came out, I don't know how that hurts him.
Man, I don't think nobody care.
No one cares. We don't look at Puff as some macho dude.
Look, we spoke on it maybe about 2-3 episodes ago about the Lil Nas X nigga.
Still number one song in the country.
And does anybody fucking care?
No.
That shit just came and went.
Still number one song in the country. Poised to be still number one in the country. Has tied, I think, Eminem's Lose Yourself as 14, 15 weeks or whatever. Is about to surpass that this week. Projected to be number one again. People love this song and they don't care that this kid is gay. And I think at this point, Puff, again, you're not losing anything. You're probably gaining another avenue to run down and tell your story. But, we'll move on from Puff and his young women, whether it's beards or it's the real shit. But
yeah, that nigga been puffing flutes.
Ooh.
Take that.
I was going to go there too, but I didn't want to off that. So somebody taking that. ASAP Rocky is officially charged. Been in Sweden for 2 weeks behind bars. Now they are moving this to trial. Trump couldn't get him out. He said that us African Americans were very angry and that we felt let down, that Sweden had let us down. So now ASAP is looking at fighting or going to trial and possibly doing some time. Only reason I'm bringing this up, Pooh, is because you had a great point when we were talking a few hours back. Where the fuck is Jay-Z at?
I mean, like I said, I don't think he's associated with Rock Nation. I don't know his record label situation or how that shit goes, but hey, to be honest with you, man, it's like this shit is so fucking petty to me. Like, you know what I mean? I know niggas and personally who's done horrible shit that went to jail, whatever, doing major time. I know niggas that done petty shit, went to jail. It's like, why is it an outcry over a nigga and his homies stomping a nigga in the street? Like, the African American community, who the fuck told you that? Like,
yeah,
honestly, like, I hate to see any man go to jail, but for a nigga to go to jail for beating somebody up, knowing he gonna get a slap on the wrist any fucking way, I don't give a fuck if A$AP Rocky go to jail for that shit. So don't make a blanket statement like all African Americans, or it's some political shit to try to get the black vote or the people to back his ass. But honestly, I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I hate the fact that he's gonna go to jail off this, and we said last week, G-Eazy got out in the night. You know what I mean? That's the issue. And I think as black men, we need to, and as minorities, we need to understand that just because you in the United States doesn't mean we ain't hated in Sweden and Austria and everywhere else we go. We carry the reason they don't like us with us, and that's the color of our skin. Now, on another note, yeah, this outrage about ASAP and all this kind of stuff like that, he's gonna get some time, and he'll probably at the point where they sentence him, be able to pay that off. And from what I understand, Swedish regular jail is more like therapy and shit like that. So, it's not like he's going to Rikers. Like I said last week, he's been in Rikers before. So, hey man, you just got to be aware of where you're at, who you are, and what your perception is when it comes to the people. And the one thing I haven't heard in the story is there was multiple people who attacked this Swedish person. Are they locked up too? And how come we not saying free them? Why it only free ASAP?
That's what I'm saying. It's like they just, it's more of the music, or I ain't say music, the celebrity community that's saying that shit. Because I haven't seen one person in regular life say anything about fucking A$AP Rocky. It's like,
yeah, because we got real life. We don't have A$AP Rocky problems. We got real life problems.
Yeah.
Simon, give me your thoughts on that, man.
I mean, there's a few things that we got to take away from this shit, and with one, we're in America where justice can be bought, as far as disproved or whatever. When you pay a defense attorney, he's there to prove the injustice to not go ahead and get prosecuted. Now, as Americans, we got to understand that not all countries are bribed that way. Not all countries are, motivated by money. Yeah. So, I mean, with Sweden, they're one of the more advanced countries, in the world, as far as they got their shit pretty tight. Their morals and standards, they run and operate shit. What is it? No, they've got a low drug usage, low crime rates.
Yeah.
So they pretty much got their judicial system, pretty fair. So as Americans, going over there thinking that we can get away with shit, it's not gonna slide. So we got to be cognizant of where we travel to and how those countries operate. So I mean, like I said, he did his thing. They're gonna try to. They're not gonna cane him and shit. What was that kid that got caned?
I was about to say, well, he went to
fucking Singapore or some shit like that.
Yeah, he went to Singapore and spray painted or something like that. Thought it was all sweet, and they got his ass caned and shit. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. They're gonna try to rehabilitate him or whatever the fucking issue is. I mean, hey, you do the crime, you gotta do the time, man. Motherfuckers. I understand how to man up. It's not a racial injustice or anything like that. You know what I mean? If he was innocent, then I can see everybody rioting and shit like that. But nah, he's got to be accountable for his shit. And I think that's why everybody's just kind of leaving it alone because he's in the wrong in this shit.
What I'm getting a little more info right now on the reason why they're moving forward with the pressing charges, and so basically what they're saying is that Rocky was the one that ended up pushing the dude to the ground before he and his buddies started kicking him, and at some point used bottles to strike him. So I guess they shanked him a few times with bottles. So the dude, I'm seeing pictures where dude has shout out to my wife, 2 centimeter cuts on his arms and shit like that. So
I'll get you, man.
I guess they're hitting him because he went too far. I guess the dude is being recognized as the aggressor, but they went ahead and pushed it a little far, and I guess that's why they are pushing, or they are trying to hit him with these charges. So crazy. His trial starts next week Tuesday, so they're not even playing. They going with it, and he's looking at a maximum of 2 years behind bars for this.
A max?
A max.
See, I mean, that's not bad, because in California, I mean, that's assault, you know what I mean, or attempted murder. That's one of them 2 cases, and shit, you looking at fucking 15, you know what I mean?
So let's say the worst happens. ASAP gets 2. This is a horrible question to ask, but we're going to ask it. Does this enhance or hurt his career? I'm going to start with you, Pooh.
I mean, he'll be able to capitalize on the free ASAP movement, but he's not a street rapper, so I don't think it would give him like any type of street credibility.
Right.
But it will, this day and age, like the best publicity for a rapper is either dying or fucking going to jail.
Jail, right.
So it's definitely going to help his brand. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's like when I look at international incidents like this, it's kind of fucked up, because it's kind of like you crying wolf. Something this small. So when some real shit happens, it's kind of be like, oh, here we go again with motherfuckers wanting to put together a movement because of some type of injustice. Right. When in my opinion, this ain't a fucking real injustice. It doesn't deserve the attention.
Right, I feel you.
That's the way I feel about it.
Son Capone,
I mean,
hurt or help?
It'll help, because I mean it's not like he's fucking popping in the streets right now anyway. So this is a fucking timeout,
fashion shit.
And let him build up an exclusive fucking album and do something musically. You know what I mean? So
I think
he's more of a face than an artist.
Yeah, I think this helps the whole other ASAP Mob movement. That gives him a whole lot of material, songs to write about. You can release another project. I forget what his name of his clothing line is, but he has the opportunity to capitalize off that. So hopefully he doesn't get hit with no time. They're probably going to make him pay a hefty fine. He comes home and he's still probably going to go ahead and capitalize. But I'm trying to figure out where Jay is at in this whole situation. He ended up getting 21 Savage out. He's helping people, the folks in Arizona. He's doing a lot, but he's not touched this. Let me ask you this. Is it because this is a situation where Trump has stepped up, where Kanye West has stepped up, where Kim Kardashian has stepped up, and they've acted as if they're the ones that are going to help? Do you think that Jay is not trying to even get close to the circles, Trump and Khan and Kardashian? Do you think maybe that's why Jay's not helping?
I forgot who said this shit, but I'll definitely give credit where it's due. Somebody was saying that Jay-Z has elevated to a level where he may potentially in the future try to run for president or some shit like that, like Oprah. And I think this is like more political, and I don't think he want to step on Trump's toes. If you want to, you know what I mean? Like Choke No Joke was saying, it seemed like he's getting all of his enemies or people who got anything negative to say about him, they're all under his wing again, except for Dame Dash. Dame ain't really got shit to say.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like nobody can really smudge his name no more. You know what I mean? Everybody's underneath him. He give him some type of position. So it seems like he's looking to do something bigger because he's never been vocal. He's never, like, all of a sudden over the last year or two, him and Beyonce's out there, they crusading and doing all types of shit. But before,
stop eating meat and all this.
He never said anything. He don't even like the camera. Now all of a sudden Jay's in front of the camera. It just kind of seemed like he has a publicist who's telling him to get out there, say more, so people can see his face and hear his voice, and everything is all positive, nothing negative. Because I don't know, it may be something a little bit bigger. You never know.
When it changed for me for Jay-Z is when J and B were going on tour together, and when it was a big thing. You know what I mean? Jay, like you said, was always a dude who was not playing the background, but you knew he was a star, but he had folks around him. It was never just all about Jay-Z as far as videos and performances and shit like that. Then when it became J and B, it became a different situation. And now it's almost like you said, it's their mission to be the biggest stars in the world, and all of the movements, everything they do, being haters and dropping the fucking Lion King on the same day that you know, that Nas drops fucking the Lost Tape too. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit where they want to be at the forefront of everything. You know what I mean? And they want to be the people who are pushing it. And I think it is. He just does, like you say, he don't want to smudge his name and even deal with Trump and deal with Kanye again. He's trying to steer clear from that. It'll be interesting to see if he could run for something. It's going to be interesting, and I'm glad you brought that up, Pooh, to see what happens with Scarface and Willie D, because they're running for, if I'm not mistaken, they're running for districts, some sort of a district city council or something like that within their area. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Brad Jordan, aka Scarface, and Willie Duncan or some shit like that, and Willie Duncan, aka Willie D, are going to be able to make that transition when they have their history recorded. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out. Are white people in the suburbs and are white people that live in the richest areas going to vote for them? And I mean, it might not play at city council because it's just going to be your area voting for you, but that's, you know, depending on what the demographic is, it's going to be interesting to see who votes for these guys and who doesn't, if they should be put on the bill though. But again, hopefully ASAP gets a slap on the wrist, is able to come home, but definitely for everyone, eye-opener to, you know, sometimes the money that's in your pocket has nothing to do with, it can't save you, you know what I mean? So last week you missed Sime, you weren't here, but I just want to touch on this really quickly. I want your thoughts on the Glasses Malone, Tupac Must Die, the video, the song. You've heard it. You know, we had our reactions last week. I know you are a Pac fan and someone who respects him as an artist and what he meant. So I would love to hear your feedback on that, your thoughts.
When I first heard the song, I wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of simple, slow, and shit like that. But then I seen the video, so it made a lot of sense after I seen the video. And, you know, I mean, it's creative the way that he came about it. I can't be mad. It wouldn't be in my taste, you know what I mean, as far as doing something like that. But yeah, I think it's pretty creative as far as explaining that side of the story. Because, unfortunately, with Pac, everything is one-sided, and Pac was never able to finish or complete that story for us. You know what I mean? It's only the evidence that we have and what's known or said in the streets. You know, it's crazy how everything is coming all into fruition now and shit, and everybody got the fucking what was it? You know, the big ass puzzles, the little 2,000 piece puzzles and shit like that. Like all everybody got the 2,000 pieces now and shit. And we can go ahead and put it together on the table and glue that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, it was a creative way. I'm not knocking Glasses. You know what I mean? I don't think it's disrespectful or anything like that to Pac's legacy. You know, I just think, I mean, it's just what happens out here in California. You know what I mean? You know, Pac came out, you know, and we was dealing with Death Row. Death Row gave him a second breath at life. You know what I mean? And Pac compromised himself, getting involved with some shit he didn't understand. You know, he was trying to. I mean, he was a product of his environment. You know what I mean? And that's the case for all this shit. Is you become a product of your environment. Yeah, he was a grown man, but he was still young. You know what I mean? As far as the mentality, so he got caught up in the shit and. I mean, ultimately paid with his life. You know what I mean? As many young brothers and sisters do, participating in, you know, in these politics. So, I mean, like I said, it was creative. I can't knock Glass's artistry as far as painting a picture, you know, and then putting the visuals. The visuals, I don't know if it was his idea as far as when he storyboarded it, or you know, whoever the director is, but they did the damn thing on the visuals, and they gave you a clearer picture of the other aspect of it, because again, everything has been one-sided, you know, for the last, you know, 22 years, or no shit, longer than that, 20 something years.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with the same sentiments. Everybody who was able to look at it, I think, from an artistic point of view, was able to see that. You know, as we said last week, and as a lot of people have echoed the same sentiment, I think people are just still too wrapped up in who Pac meant to them to be able to see it objectively. You know, and it's very evident that people feel a certain way about that. So, you Pooh said, hey, this is definitely part of a scheme to get Glass's attention. He's been on Big Boy. He's been all over, you know. So hopefully, you know, he does get that Breakfast Club interview. Shout out to him and Alcatraz and Zario. And we'll see what's next. We'll see if music follows. You know, I know hopefully he has, I'm pretty sure he has some joints in the tuck and he's ready to go with them, but now it's time to start putting that music out.
You know, I got a quick question for y'all though. When's the last time you actually were, I'm not gonna say excited, but not even anxious, but when was the last time you was engaged in a music video that didn't have ass shaking? Like hip hop wise, when's the last time you really want to sit back and watch a video? It's been a long time. I actually watched that video and was at the edge of my seat basically the entire way.
Yeah.
It's been a long
Pooh,
time.
that is such a good point, man. The last time I was really wanting to check for a video, I can't tell you, man, because we don't expect good videos from people anymore. You know what I mean? Because the videos have now been broken down to the fact anybody can grab pretty much a high quality camera and can shoot something, put it on YouTube, put it on World Star, and it almost kind of like validates that. Before, if you're going to spend on a video, you had to have a budget. You needed a good director and you know, someone who's going to put the cinematography together for you. Cinematography. Now it's just like homie grabs a camera, we go out my backyard by the pool, we shoot a video, edit it, make sure it looks tight as possible, and then we throw it online and it's a video. So you're right, the artistry of that, and I think we're on the edge of our seats because we knew what was going to happen. At the end, Pac gets killed.
Yeah.
How do they pull this off? You know, it's kind of like you go somewhere and they're like, hey, man's going to fight a bear.
Yeah.
You pay $15 for that. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time because you know this bear's going to fuck this man up eventually. It's like the video. Have you seen the video of the bison bucking the little girl?
Nah, yeah. I read the story.
Man, trust is out the window. That little girl's never going to trust her parents again. Bike riding, jumping off stuff, and all that. Just close your eyes and trust me.
I give her a 10 for sticking the landing, though.
Oh, yeah, she did definitely stick the landing. But it's like that. It's a train wreck. You know what's going to happen, so you want to watch it. And that's what this Glasses video was. We knew Pac was going to die at the end. We wanted to see how that was going to happen, what it was going to look like. And that's why it worked. That's why it was a big win for him. So hopefully he has now the music, the product to follow up. Because if not, this is a big swing and a miss.
Exactly.
Because now you have more people who are going to dislike you, more people who are going to believe that this was just a shot at attention and that this was clout or a cash grab, whatever little term you want to use, if you can't follow up with something else. So you got to have something followed up. You definitely do. Yeah. Let's see. What else, man? So much. Let me see what else we can run through real quick. Y'all want to discuss Meek getting his case, or I guess getting the old case thrown out, looking at a new case, and then getting the label within the same week with Jay.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, this that Rock Nation shit is a motherfucker, man. It's some real power over there, and it's crazy to me. Like I never really paid attention. Then you start hearing people rumors about this and that, and then people behind the scenes saying certain things, and it opens your eyes and you take a look at this shit, and it's like everything that Jay touches turns into gold. Like even when it comes to the legal system, and it's crazy to me because it's not like Meek Mill was a fucking scrub as far as money. He got some dollars in his pocket,
Right,
and you had you know, moguls like tycoons, like fucking franchise owner in professional sports. Robert Kraft, you know what I mean, the fucking owner of the Sixers and shit like that, like doing shit for him, and his cases and shit, they're getting thrown out during that time, but he comes over and fucks with Jay, and it's just like it's just, man, I really I can't call it, man. Like they plugged into the right people, and it kind of seemed like all them rumors about secret society and all that shit, it must be something behind it. We'll probably never know, but just seeing the events that's going on is like they yield a lot of fucking power over there, and it's like it kind of seems like, why are these niggas only using that shit for rappers and shit? Like you can really make a change out here. And I know I'm veering off Meek, but it's like, I heard Joke say like Jay hasn't done anything for home, Brooklyn, New York, anything, but he's putting a lot of effort. You know what I mean? He's putting a lot of effort into artists, like helping them out of their situation. But what are you doing for the people? Type, you know what I mean? So if you have that type of power, you can make changes that really helps, like on the LeBron type of tip, but you really just don't see it.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you because Puffy's got some schools in Harlem. You know what I mean? Not that I don't know if Puff's from Harlem, but he has some schools in Harlem. Yeah, he's from Harlem, so he's got some schools in Harlem. You would think Jay and all this forward thinking, Beyonce and all this forward thinking and want to uplift the culture, where are these things at? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like almost they no longer identify with where they're from, and they're above that. So I 100% agree with you, in regards to that. Tom, what are your thoughts on this whole Meek's getting a new case, labeled through the rock?
They're just all. I mean, it's all tied in together. You know what I mean? Like they're basically expunging the old case and then just picking up what's the new case. I don't know what the new case is.
It's the same shit. You just get a new judge. Still the probation, the popping of the wheelie on the fucking ATV on the middle of the street in New York, which is a crime. So basically, they managed to get the old sister off the case. The sister that supposedly
switch the judge.
Yeah, supposedly
the judge
wanted
is getting they're getting a new judge for the case.
Right. New judge, new court date or whatever.
That's money, man. I mean, money and influence. It's that shit's been going on since the beginning of the country. So with Jay, I mean, they got all the paper, they got all the leverage, and I mean, like I said, why he's doing it for Meek, I do not know. You know what I mean? Like, is that? I mean, Meek is cool and he's got his following and shit, but is he gonna get that return financially back from Meek?
I think he will off whoever Meek signs, because that's what a lot of these deals have been happening. What's the old guy, the originator? What's the nigga's name? The originator, Jazzo signed a distribution deal with Rock Nation. So basically, any artist they sign, Jay's getting some money off that. Same thing, I'm pretty sure, with Meek. I'm pretty sure that's what happening with, even though you don't hear a lot about it. And well, maybe that's not the case, because you know what's crazy? Jay pushes Meek, but how come he don't push J. Cole like that?
I think J. Cole is a standalone artist, that he's a producer. So J. Cole knows what he's doing musically. J. Cole is more advanced than Meek.
Or do you think it's maybe Jay didn't believe in his dream of Dreamville and signed a little unknown niggas from North Carolina and the surrounding areas that no one's really going to be checking for?
Could be.
It could be. And it kind of seemed like, I don't really know J. Cole's history, but is he a college grad?
Yeah.
It just seemed like he may have more of a mind of, of doing, he wants to do things his way, whereas Meek is just going to take the money and do what a uneducated street nigga is going to do with it, where J. Cole has his own mind.
You big homie in me, and I appreciate that. So let me take this and let me take that and let me catch it. Let me keep it pushing for the big homie. You put me on, I'm a fall in line, and I respect that. So hey, props to Meek. Hopefully that this shit gets overturned. You don't have to spend no time, and you can go ahead and start pumping some of your new artists. The rumor is he's going to sign this young lady, Tierra Whack. We're going to roll into these might as well be BET, these XXL Freshman Freestyles, which we all sat back and watched. So, Pooh, I'm going to start with you, man. Tell me your thoughts on the XXL 2019 freestyles. When I say the names Blueface, when I say the names YBN Corday, when I say the names Rico Nasty or Rico Reckless, whatever the fuck her name is, when I say the names DaBaby, when I say the names of the little light-skinned Peter Guns looking cat, I don't even know what his name is, but this, talk to me about this, man.
I mean, when it comes to just the words or however you want to call that shit, freestyle, my expectation level is high. I come from the hip hop where freestyling meant off the top. Now it kind of seems like freestyling means you just rapping. You rapping, but you're not on a fucking track. You rapping over a beat. It could be written. It could be everything. So I don't really put too much weight into any of that shit. A lot of them cats who they got on there are more style rappers. I'm not gonna call them MCs. So you kind of hear their music, like kind of how when Mike Moore's Code was here. The Code. He was saying like T Grizzly, you got to hear it in my car. You don't hear it, right? It's like a lot of these niggas, you need the complete package to see their talent. So just hearing them rapping, I really wasn't impressed with any of this shit. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So there wasn't one person that impressed you at all.
I mean, I like DaBaby.
I liked him too
because he sounds the same as he does on this track. So it's kind of like, you know, he can rap for what he's doing.
He can.
So I can stomach what he's doing. He got his own little flow. Yeah. So you know what I mean. But
he's top tier mumble rapper. DaBaby. I'm gonna give him that. He's top tier. You're shaking your head, Simon. You don't agree?
I think their whole style is the little yellow bus. They sound,
I feel that.
They sound like they was in special classes adding up, the Chiefs versus the Raiders scores on Monday. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Like, it's terrible. The
Raiders
terrible.
scored 28 and the Chiefs scored 14. What was
terrible.
The difference?
I think the YBN kid is nice.
He came off. I like him.
I liked him, and then I think shit, out of all of them, I think the broads reigned supreme over the dudes.
Okay, so out of the broads, there was the Rico Reckless or Rico Nasty, whatever. That was a broad with the fucking Mike Tyson tattoos on her face. She looked like a female Daylight. Then there was Megan Thee Stallion, and then there was the Tiana Wack girl that I just referenced.
The Philly.
She's the one where they cut the beat off, and you could tell she was spitting off dome. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, out of those three females, which ones?
I liked the last.
The Tiana Wack chick. I like her too.
She real MC's a body without a beat. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a whole different sheer confidence of writing without the beat a cappella. Yeah. So,
Pooh, what you think about the females?
I like her too. Side note, Meek lost her.
Wow, who she signed with?
She he had her. You know how niggas have somebody and then they
lined up.
I forgot who the fuck was it. She did a track with somebody and then he snatched her from under Meek about a month ago. I think it was Tory Lanez.
What?
Yeah, I think it was Tory Lanez.
Damn.
One of them little niggas got her.
Why would you go with Tory Lanez over Meek and Rock Nation?
Well, she probably didn't know the Rock Nation was formulating.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's kind of like if you're sitting there waiting, and it's not happening, and then somebody else say, "Come on!" Like, it's kind of like let's just say sports recruiting. You want to go to USC, you waiting like, damn, you know, and they showing a little interest, but then UCLA come like, look, you will be the fucking starting quarterback to come here.
You're gonna go.
You're gonna go there.
Yeah, that's real spit.
And not just that, but you know, I mean, with Tory Lanez might be more of a fit musically for it than what the fuck Meek and Maybach and them is doing, because Maybach, they don't like Rick Ross can spit, but or Dream Chasers. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, but Meek is like, he's not getting spitters and shit on his music and stuff like that. He's just yelling and doing all that nonsense. So, you know, a true MC is not going to be a good mesh with him. So I think she is probably thinking not financially, but more musically.
Could have been control. Maybe Tory's not going to control her like maybe a major label would. I mean, yeah, there's some things we probably don't know about. In my opinion, out of the females, I'm going Tierra Whack. I'm going the Daylight Face Broad, Rico Reckless or Rico Nasty, whatever her name is.
They was on beat. They was on beat and they was
the last female, Megan Thee Stallion. I still don't get it. She's like a Juicy J. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's blowing her up.
She's better to me than Juicy J.
Well, she just has that Juicy J style.
Yeah.
And maybe that's an influence. I don't know. But I just don't get it yet. I don't get, like, when Kim was out, Kim had that thing. When Fox was out, Fox had that thing. Cardi had that thing. I don't know what Megan's thing is yet. I don't feel that from her.
I mean, it seems like
ass and titties.
she's blowing up because she twerks on stage and all these little ratchet females. It's sad as it is. I'm not gonna say sad because I don't want to offend the listeners, but it just seemed like this day and age, 70% of the women eat pussy like us. That's just being real. You know what I mean? Like,
it's yummy.
when I meet a, to get personal, when I meet a female, I'm low key surprised that she don't eat pussy nowadays. Where it used to be like you in shock if she did. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I can, hey, it's just
I've been out the game a whole long time, so I missed that whole bisexual female wave.
Yeah.
Dating
hey,
regular dudes.
Is experimenting over here like the Dr. Moreau and shit, man.
The islands, huh?
The islands, man. They licking that island.
It's crazy because I didn't run into plenty of females where they turned off by men. Like I throw a little my own business out there. I was just fucking with a chick,
Let's talk about it.
I'm not gonna date this shit because for obvious reasons. But she was telling me she was married for 13 years, got 3 kids, and she had never busted a nut from penetration.
Damn.
So
did they have sex before marriage?
Yeah, but she had never had it before, even when she lost her virginity and all that.
So she maybe was a lesbian the whole time, or was she just messing with dudes that didn't know how to make her orgasm?
She told me that she
that's crazy.
She just never it never happened. So she had curiosity with a female, and the female went down on her and made her. So she kind of got addicted to that. So her expectations for a man was low to the point where. I know I'm veering way the fuck off subject,
but it's an honest conversation about him.
I'm gonna get into it.
We veer all the fucking time.
She told me that so her expectation for a man, as far as satisfying her in that way, was really low. A female had put her that way, so she was damn near to the point where she was kind of like didn't want to fuck with men at all. And on top of that, she said, and I had never heard of this. She said that a psychologist, or whatever, told her that it was common. She would get so worked up with penetration that she would start to damn near have a panic attack, and she would throw up because of the breathing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we had a deep conversation about this shit. So you know how that shit turned, like, bitch, I'm about to fuck you up.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a challenge for me, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know niggas was out here lacking like this.
So was you pumping and holding your breath and shit?
Oh no, it had nothing to do with my breath. It was her. It was like it's like
Pooh was a ninja over there and shit, man.
As a man, it's kind of like I gotta represent for the men. I'm representing for myself, but it's like, damn, like these sorry ass niggas is making us lose the women to other women. Like, and I didn't know it was like that, but this shit it's a common occurrence. I done met so many women who prefer head over dick. It's amazing to me.
And I think that's just because a lot of dudes younger than us are selfish when it comes to getting it in, you know what I mean, and handling business.
We were selfish. I know I was selfish as a young man. I wasn't doing
but as
none
you
of that
matured,
shit, you know what I mean?
as you matured, you didn't stay that way. And I think nowadays, because again, I want to say it was a little harder to get quality back in the day. I think quantity rules now. You got all these dating apps. You can swipe
fucking
left,
Amazon and shit out
Everybody's
here.
out there just
log the fuck in and
your shit
getting dropped off by a drone.
Right.
And
back
shit.
in the days, I used to get clowned for checking stocks. You know what I mean? Now, that's what cats is. That's what everybody's doing. I was ahead of the game. You know what I mean? I was what's
Wall Street, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, shit. I was we take it back. Fuck Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I'm George Naismith. I put the peach basket up first. You know what I mean? Now cats are doing 360s through the legs. You know what I mean? Catching off the backboard. You know what I mean? I was back in the day where all you had was a granny shot. That was it. You know. So the game has definitely changed, and I think as that's changed, you probably have people who it's just a thrill to get some new skins. It's not about, oh man, I can't wait to get that. It's kind of like, oh, this is what I'm getting tonight. Swipe to the left, swipe to the right, whatever you do. I'm not on any dating shit, so I don't know how you do it. But to me, that's what really sticks out. You know what I mean? And I think that's why you have that, where you do have so many women who are turned off by dudes who ain't bringing it correct.
Yeah. So like I said, I seen a video today where a girl was an online comedian was spoofing, like trying to learn how to move like Megan Thee Stallion for the summer. And it was funny because I didn't know how Megan Thee Stallion be doing shit on stage. So she was acting like squatting down, doing all kind of shit, saying her knees ain't strong enough and she need to hit her asthma pump. So I look in the comments and it's all women like laughing, like they all over this shit, and they like I don't know, man. It's
you think the line is too blurred?
It's blurred in a motherfucker,
and so.
man.
Are you saying that you think maybe Megan Thee Stallion's core fan base are females who want to somehow sleep with her, that are into her?
I you know what? I'll say half and half. Either they want to sleep with her or they're physically attracted to her.
And women have that ability to, I think she's really pretty, I would never sleep with her, but oh my God, I wish I had her ass, or
exactly.
I wish I had her titties, or something like that. I mean,
Angela,
women can do that
Angela
shit.
Jolie factor and shit.
Yeah,
most women would admit straight than a motherfucker they'd fuck with Angelina Jolie and shit.
I just don't get it. Maybe I have to hear more music from her. But at this point in time, I just don't really get why she's killing it. She's killing it. She just trademarked Hot Girl Summer. So hopefully you're putting out merchandise. Hopefully, whoever's using that, you getting some sort of chips for that. And it'll be interesting to see where she goes from here. She is signed to a label. I don't know if it's Atlantic, but she is signed. So I guess we'll see a bigger push. And we'll see more music from the Stallion out of, was it Houston?
Yeah. How do you feel about this? Because I think it goes both ways, male and female, with Southern rappers, MCs, whatever you want to call them. It seemed like the expectation level is lower, so if they're halfway decent rhyming, they're exceptional.
Yeah, because the bar hasn't been set that high mainstream wise. Like, I'm not going to say the South has trash MCs, because that'd be a lie, that'd be a disrespect to the dope lyricists that the South has.
Yeah.
But I don't think the South embraces those artists the same way that they do Amigos. I said the name right, Amigos, and these other cats. And I think that's because I identify with them type of rappers, so they embrace them a little more. You know what I mean? If you notice, once Tip got on his little what'd you say last week, Pooh? Redfish, bluefish. Once Tip got on his whole, exquisitely, expeditiously. Once Tip got on that, he lost a lot of those people. They wanted the rubber band man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Once he started trying to kick some knowledge, that veered off. Another cat we don't ever talk about, B.O.B. When B.O.B. was on his little nothing but you, babe, representing the South low key, once he started to take his music somewhere else, not only did mainstream stop fucking with him, the South started fucking with him. So you see these artists like the Gucci's that are the South really fucking with, because, and Atlanta in general, because they really, really rock with the lifestyle that you're living. You know what I mean? And so once Jeezy stopped being Mr. Super Drug Dealer, dried up, and you try to come back to being Super Drug Dealer, you getting a little spins. You know what I mean? So that's the South. They want you to be who you are. They want you to stick to the shit that they can relate to, and there's really no growth. You can't really give me an artist that's been supported from early trap days or early gangster Southern rap days to being able to evolve fully. I don't know if there's anybody who's really done that. I can't count Face in them because that was so early on. Yeah. Face was early on when rap was different. If we look at the last 10 years, you can't give me that artist from the South who's been able to evolve and has fully moved away from what he's doing. Look at Future. Future said, shit, I stopped sipping lean, but I couldn't tell everybody else that, or they was going to stop fucking with me.
It's true. Or if you're from the South and you come out actually rhyming and saying something, then you don't get the same following, such as, what's my man? I think he's from Mississippi.
Crit.
Oh yeah, heavily slept
on because he's actually fucking saying something. Right,
exactly.
It's crazy, but that's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's a crazy situation. South has a lot of dope MCs. I mean, just cats that never got never got to shine. Man, I can't remember his name right now, but he was signed to Eminem. He was on Bobby Clearwater or Bobby Creekwater.
Creekwater.
Man, Bobby Creekwater had flows. Ninth Wonder had a little dude. His name was John. Fuck, I can't remember his name, but he was tight as fuck too. No, it wasn't John Connor. But whatever. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He had that song on that Ninth Wonder's Opus shit or whatever. He had a little beat, or it was the ninth beat. Doo, 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 and the kid was spitting. You know what I mean? On that whole album, he shined. But again, if you're over their heads, they're not really fucking with you. That's why I feel if J. Cole wasn't from North Carolina and was somewhere about 800 miles lower, he wouldn't be where he's at right now, because that core fan base would have never stuck and fuck with him. Shit, man, it's been we about a good hour and 10 in. Is there anything you guys want to touch on before we get out of here?
I think we pretty much hit all the points. Of course, something will come up as soon as we end the damn show.
Well, just breaking news right now. I know I don't really fuck with Power. Any of y'all fuck with Power? Watch Power?
The show Power. I've watched it.
All right, so I guess this is the final season, supposedly. 50 announced that Power's starting their first pre-production for their first spinoff called Power Book 2 Ghost. And guess who has a starring role in this? Female. Mary J. Blige.
Mary J.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you know, they did say Stars gave him 3 more shows.
Three more shows, yeah. So Mary J. Blige is going to star in Power Book 2
Shout out to Mary J.
Ghost. So shout out to her. For me, I couldn't fuck with Power. I saw the first episode. It was off to some wild shit. Within the first episode, baby mama gave some ass to a driver or some shit like that. Then the biggest, hardest drug dealer on this side of the Mississippi walks into a club, sees his high school crush, and this nigga melts like porridge. You know what I mean? Like, so from that point right there, the first episode, I was like, I'm good. This is just too over the top.
I seen about 2 minutes of Power. That's when Lala showed them titties.
But you know what? That was actually a letdown, because I thought they were going to be much bigger than that. But anyway,
real.
with Power, honestly, when I first saw the first season, it was slow, it drug on. But it actually picked up. That first one, if you watch that first season, you'd be like,
yeah.
It got better, though.
I can say, and that, I think coming from the time frame we were raised, where we started all this, like, you know, graphic TV shit. So it's hard for me, because I look at everything, okay, not better than The Wire, not better than Sopranos, not better than, what was the shit in the prison? Oz, not better than Oz. You know what I mean? That's just 3. You know, we had a whole bunch of other shit. What was the shit with my man that was before The Wire that was about Baltimore? What was it called? The
Corner.
The Corner. Not better than The Corner. You know what I mean? We had some shit. And to see this, and I understand new year, new time frame, you gotta allow these other shows, but I just can't, at this point in my life, I don't have the time to waste an hour every week devoted to some predictable bullshit that I can go ahead and pretty much write myself. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's why I want to try to get into the Shy. Can't fuck with that. I watched a little bit of John Singleton's shit. Rest in peace to him. It kind of got slow in the middle of the first season. I'm gonna go back to it and check it out, because I like the story, Young Cat, and it's supposed to be based on the true story, right?
Shit, I guess so.
You've never seen Snowfall?
I've seen like the first 3-4 episodes.
Yeah, but it's hard to get into stuff, man. Nothing grabs you, pulls you in, and like those shows did. You know what I mean? I was mad if I, you know, it wasn't like we had on demand, so I'd be mad if I missed The Wire or I missed The Sopranos. Like, man, fuck, I'm not gonna know what's gonna happen next week. You know, and I gotta, because that's when they used to play it an hour before the new one would start. So now I gotta make sure I'm home by 6 p.m. our time, so I can see what happens to catch the next episode. So, props to Mary J. Blige. I have no idea what, again, Book 2 is going to be about, but for you Power fans, make sure you check that out. As always, this has been an honest conversation about hip-hop. You know where to find us. Go ahead and find us on, currently we're on Spotify, and we are on iTunes. We're on our Libsyn page, but you can always just go ahead and Google us. An honest conversation about hip-hop. Google myself, Sam Capone, and Big Pooh, a.k.a. Fly Flamin' Pooh if you're on IG, Sam Capone. is Simon Capone on IG as well. Shout out to our boy D Holly, who was a guest here last week, who's in the hospital right now. Speedy recovery to you, brother, if you're listening to this. The Google Hyman theory or whatever the fuck you brought last week. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that whole motherfucking thing. So, man, props to you. Thanks to everybody who listens, rocks with us. If you're listening and you don't rock with us, low key, you still rocking with us. So that's all I got to say. Pooh, anything you want to say before we get out?
No, that's about it.
Sign, anything you want to tell the baby mamas, future baby mamas?
It's Friday, and I got time, baby. I'll let you dog.
Yo, it's been an honest conversation about hip hop. Shout out to Nice Rockwell, who's been behind us tonight on the beats. Peace.